Hello, everybody. I'm Kipp Snow, Director of the Transportation, Distribution, and Logistics Institute at the Community College of Baltimore County.
Hey, everybody. I'm Mike Singer, Community Manager, Baltimore and Chesapeake Bay Shipwatchers. My title is nowhere near as long as Kipp's. Maybe I should append. Hey, anyway, we are two guys talking ship podcast, episode number 62.
We're coming off of Thanksgiving. How was your Thanksgiving?
Different but good. Different but good. Wound up going to Little Italy, which was cool.
Okay.
That was cool. It's not something that we do all the time. Like I got a buddy Ray. I don't know if he is ever listening to the podcast. Probably not, but I know he likes to go down there all the time. It's kind of like a regular thing for him. But it's something very unusual for us. So that was a cool treat.
Nice. I've not been down there in years.
Yeah, it was weird. There, there's restaurants down there that are like closed.
Oh,
you know, you can see like restaurants that like used to be open.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, spent some time with family. It was pretty good. And now, you know how it is. It's the day of Thanksgiving. Everybody put all your Christmas stuff up.
Yeah.
So Thanksgiving is awesome, and then you get into the Christmas spirit, which is wonderful, but it can be a little stressful at times, and
sure,
and a little crazy with scheduling and stuff. Which is why we're like, okay, we got to get this podcast out because if we don't do it now,
no, it's not going to happen. Yeah, we had normal family, Thanksgiving in and out, and then I was a little under the weather for the back end of it, so I didn't get a chance to enjoy the time off, unfortunately. But
yeah,
right, I got over the sickness just enough time to go back to work, so that's
right.
What it is.
You were down for the count for a few days, weren't you?
Mm-hmm. But it'll be all right. And yes, and just like what we were just chatting about, December then becomes a big flurry of multiple birthdays, holiday shopping and all of that kind of stuff. So
right. And then for me, it's I love the holiday. I love Christmas season, and I feel like I have my brain is slow to adjust, right? Mm-hmm. And so by the time I feel like I'm really into it, then there's only like a week or two left, and then it's gone. I'm like, what happened? Like another Christmas season just kind of like zoomed by, and I feel like I missed like half of it. So it's a struggle for me every year to kind of put my Christmas hat on and try to enjoy it. And anyway. So that's our intro. Hey, if you're new to the channel or new to the podcast on YouTube, give us a like, subscribe, or hit the bell to be alerted to new podcasts as they come available. So what is that, Fred Flintstone on your
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, all right. I didn't... that's my high school mascot.
Really?
Yeah. So we were the St. Andrews Rocks.
Okay.
Down in Charleston, South Carolina. The story goes that the football team back in the 40s, 50s, the defense was so strong that somebody wrote in the newspaper that their defense line held like a rock.
Okay.
And
then Chevy truck stole it.
Well, yeah, that was all later after the fact. No, they stole it. They stole it from us. So we were the St. Andrews Rocks, and so you can imagine the coin terms and the
right.
The chants and everything.
Right.
Everybody. Other people have.
Are they playing like "We Will Rock You"? Like
100%. Yes. 100%. Yeah, of course.
Nice.
Yeah. And so our big rival was the Middleton Razorbacks, so the Hogs.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Darius Rucker from Hootie and the Blowfish, he graduated from Middleton. But that's it's always fun to kind of chat about what was your high school. Oh, we were the Tigers. What were you? The Rocks. Out there. There you go.
And Kipp has Captain Caveman on his.
Yeah. Okay. They went and stole the Shoney's Big Boy. You remember Shoney? Do you know?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So
Yeah.
Shoney's Big
Yeah.
Boy
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
the big held
No
the
way.
hamburger. Yeah. Well, they stole it, put a big caveman toga on it, and wrapped the burger up as like a rock, and then the high school rivals came a little while longer and burned it down. So that was the
Oh my God. That's crazy.
fun stories.
That's crazy.
All right, why don't we get into some shipping news?
Yeah, because it's been like 2 weeks, and like we've been saying, it's the situation so dynamic out there. It's almost like I could do a short podcast probably every 2 or 3 days. Just like a little quick, like 10-minute update about what's going on, and then today we're going to try to pack a whole bunch of stuff.
Right.
That's so we've got a lot to get to. So truck transactions for the last 4 weeks, 3,597 from 4 weeks ago, 3,627, 3,404, which was a little bit of a dip, and then last week, big time, 3,837 with 2 days over 3,900 and a day over 4K, a day over 4,000 transactions.
So that's a lot. I wonder how much of that was catch up from the Thanksgiving day off.
That's a good point. And now this week looks really light on the schedule. It's maybe a ship a day. And then next week looks nuts. Looks like 3 ships a day.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and some other areas for updates, and you've got a couple of things, and I've got a couple of things. The Sapphire is first on the list,
right?
Is she still here?
Still here, Southern Bay, and I think we covered this before. So they brought in what's called a geared bulker. Kids, raise your hand if you. I didn't even know that term until like a couple of years ago. It means it has its own cranes. So geared bulker. So they put it next to the Sapphire, right next to it, and with the cranes on that side.
Okay.
And they're offloading the coal, and they've been doing it since the 20th, Kipp.
Oh, wow.
Like the 20th of November, those two are out there, and there's a tug out there constantly. I don't know. I'm guessing Coast Guard guys, Mike at BaltimoreShipwatchers.com, if you want to call me an idiot or what the hell you think you're talking about. Maybe it's like a safety thing. Okay, if you guys are going to be sitting here, 2 ships in the middle of the bay anchored with your engines off, if you need something or there's an emergency, we're going to have a tug here so that we don't have, if you need it, it's not 3 or 4 or 6 hours to get it. I don't know, but there's a tug always there. There's a service boat that's constantly visiting. Someone did post some pictures this week, but I didn't get to add them to the podcast.
Sure. Okay.
So yeah, that's still happening.
Any indication about how far along then they've been going since?
Great minds. You read my mind. Sorry. I do have a source.
Okay.
Maybe I could ask him. Okay. But yeah, I have no idea how much longer it's going to take.
That's fine.
But so I'm thinking it's got to be cheaper than renting a barge and a crane, because because the guys on the ship, they're getting paid anyway.
Sure.
On the Gertrude Oldendorf, right? Those guys are getting paid anyway.
Sure.
So if you were going to offload, I would think this would be one of the cheaper ways to do it. And then you can probably do 2 holds at a time. You can probably run 2 cranes at a time.
Okay.
I don't know, but it's interesting. Yeah. So that's still happening.
Okay. there's been a couple of people who have asked about the Neoliner origin, and she is tentatively due back here in the Port of Baltimore on the 15th of December. So I looked up at marine traffic. She's up in Canada right this minute. So another week, and we'll be able to see her come through again. Haven't heard too much about any pop and circumstance around her coming back. You remember last time, which was the first time that the vessel
her
came
inaugural visit,
there was some damage that was done to the sails as she was coming across the Atlantic for the first time. So
right.
Be curious to see what news comes out for this time around.
Yeah.
Coal terminal update with CSX.
Yeah. So remember, and I'll just read this. CSX Transportation is asking the Surface Transportation Board to block parts of the state of Maryland's new operating permit for the railroad's Curtis Bay terminal in Baltimore. So, if you remember, there was an effort to basically look out for the folks that live in that neighborhood and help with the coal dust coming out of the terminal. Right. And so they said that, you have to put up this fencing. And remember, you and I were talking about it. I'm like, how in the world is that going to work?
Right.
How dense does this fencing have to be to catch coal dust? Okay. And then once the fencing gets wet and it's caked with coal dust, then how heavy is it? When you go to imagine how big of poles you have to rig and how they have to be anchored into the ground, just from an engineering standpoint, what goes into all it, right? So now, Surface Transportation Board, wait a minute, this Maryland built this into the next permit, the next operating permit, and said, you have to have this fencing up. It has to be at least as high as the highest point of your coal pile, and it has to be up by this date for you to get your operating permit. And now CSX Transportation is saying, well, hey, wait a minute. We're going to ask for, I don't know if waiver is the right term. So they're asking to block that part of the operating permit. There's a whole article. We don't have time to get into it, but yeah, so that's interesting.
You also you've been mentioning this the past couple of podcasts about the dredging in the harbor with the Brewerton channel. So you have some updates on that one?
Right. Now, as long as we're not getting confused, so there's current dredging, but that's over in Coalgate Creek between Dundalk Marine Terminal and Seagirt.
Right.
Right. And they're running the dredge spoils over to Cox Creek DMCF, which is just across the way. But this is like the reward of the contract for the annual winter maintenance dredging, right? And this can cover everything from like the Bay Bridge up into Baltimore.
Okay.
And then remember, you and I obviously were out on that giant DB Avalon dredge. That was like a wild experience.
Yes.
I'm not sure what they're bringing in this time, but let me see here. Only 2 companies bid. The same company, Curtin Maritime, won it again, which is really interesting because Cashman has been doing this for the last 5 or 10 years straight.
Yeah.
Okay. And now all of a sudden here comes the company with the giant Terminator dredge. And I mean Terminator.
It crab walked.
Yeah. That thing was incredible. And now they've won the contract 2 years in a row. So Current won with $22.6 million. There was only one other bid, and it was at $37 million.
Wow.
So like 1.5 times what Curtin won it at.
It's interesting.
That is interesting. Here's the other thing that was interesting. Then just last week, the Cashman dredge Dale Pyatt comes into town on a barge, the same one that's been doing the winter dredging here for years. And it was like, I wonder what that's about.
Sure.
So we were talking to our favorite engineer friend who shall remain nameless. And he was coming up with, maybe it's subbed out, or maybe it's just, they have another way of, I forget what the terminology is, of sharing the work, but it's not a subcontract.
Okay.
Because if you're, maybe they're only subbing out a section, but it will be, we have no idea.
Sure.
But it will be interesting to see what all is transpiring there and why that came to town.
Cool. All right, so that gets a number of our other updates out of the way. There's been quite a bit of movement on the Key Bridge.
A bunch, right? Like I said earlier. So 2 more cranes arrived this past Sunday, and there are already 3 on site.
Okay.
And the first 2,
I thought they hadn't started yet. Continue on.
Kipp, have you been listening to the internet again?
Yeah, I need to cut the internet off. Continue on, please.
And then, as they're taking down, the steel support structure for the roadbed, it's almost all gone, except for those 900-foot sections that stick out over the water. Remember, we talked about that. They're not in the way, so they're going to wait to do those. They're not included in the current demo effort that started in July and last 9 months, so it should be over by March. But they're trucking out like 10 tractor trailers of steel girders every day. Right? And then you've got to cut them into 40 or 50 foot lengths. So there's an awful lot of processing going on to get this stuff out of here, and they're taking it out by truck. So where's it going? That's another question. And then I think somebody was watching where they were going and said, well, it doesn't seem like it's going to Trade Point. Because they took the access road and went down Dundalk Avenue, or
went further out. Okay.
Well, no, towards the port, towards Seagirt.
Oh, okay.
Towards Dundalk Marine Terminal and the Colgate Bridge, and going down that way instead of going over the bridge like you're going towards Trade Point. And we all know Trade Point, the whole bunch of land over there. They've got room for that, probably.
Well, I wonder what the long-term disposal is going to be, and maybe they figured it out, and that's just where it's going.
Yeah.
Even in some cases, somebody may have bought up the steel and maybe using it for something else. What about the local watch company? I know he bought up a little bit so he could,
Yeah, but that was,
I know that was a very specialized type transaction, but the steel could still be used in other applications. You melt it, cut it, do whatever. I wonder what.
And I think there was some news on that, but something finite about it being reused. I can't recall it right now.
Sure.
So then, if this whole process has taught us anything, it's that just when you think you have some decent assumptions, or you've talked to some engineers and you think you might have an idea what's going on, there's a curveball, and you really didn't know what you were talking about the whole time anyway. And so a lot of people were assuming, okay, these test piles that they're putting in, to do this huge static load test. Well, they can't be the same as the production piles. I kind of thought they were, but people were thinking that, okay, well, we're not going to get the production piles in until after we obviously do these tests. I mean, why would you be making and shipping production piles when you haven't even completed and verified your test yet? Well, guess what? A barge of 15 production piles arrived this week. I mean, you're talking big, huge numbers, the stresses, the weight, everything that goes into a bridge calculation. I'm sure in civil engineering there have been mistakes before, right? Or calculations have been off. You want to verify them, but I would think that they would be pretty good at nailing those down and be confident enough to just, hey, keep making more. And because we're going to have to be, there's something like 500 piles going in.
It's a significant amount.
Right. So, I mean, they're going to be making them and shipping them for a really long time.
Yeah.
So the two cranes that came in, I think they might have something to do with the new temporary access trestle. And then remember when we showed that PDF, I don't know, 6 weeks or 4 or 5 podcasts ago, and it was the new southern alignment of the bridge where the curve was a little bit more accentuated, and you could actually see where they had drawn in where the temporary trestle was going to be. Which brings me to this, and I think this was a notice to mariners. On or about Monday, December 15th, Kiewit will begin construction of a new temporary access trestle, which will be used to support the replacement of the Francis Scott Key Bridge. Vessels on the scene shall include Weeks 575 derrick barge and other material barges. That's not even the big crane that's out there. That's 533 is the big one. 533 is the one that pulled the containers off of Dolly.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. All cranes and barges will be positioned along the alignment of the new bridge up to the navigation channel, but will not impede any vessel traffic within the channel. So basically what they're saying is this temporary access trestle is going to come all the way out till what I'm get about 1,700 feet from the center, point to point, right? So, and it's going to be low enough. I have here 12 feet above mean sea level. So fairly low. I have no idea how many piles it, but I would imagine it would block a lot of boating traffic once they get it all done. So they're going to start this on December 15th. Operation is scheduled for 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. The barges shall remain on position 24/7. This work is scheduled to be completed before December 31st, 2026. So a year just to build the temporary trestle.
Wow.
Right. And how many piles does that require? And so I think the story is that instead of putting cement trucks and those cement boom trucks on barges, let's just build temporary bridging, just run them out there. Just drive them out there like it's a road. And then when they're done, pull the whole thing back up and it'll be gone.
Wow.
Right?
I'm curious about that effort for them to pull it back up after the fact. I guess they don't have to, they're not going to have to go as wide or as deep in order to put those,
it's just supporting whatever the truck weight would be.
Concrete truck. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Some of our trucking buddies from the, right. Give us a number. We could probably, Google it, but, yeah. Kiewit is requesting all vessels in the area to use their slowest safe working speed when navigating the area. Barges will not be able to maneuver when moored and will require a tugboat to shift. So this was shocking to me when our favorite engineer put this in the camera chat, that they're actually going to start building this thing. You know,
Sure.
with all the stories about who's paying for it and is it really paid for, and you and I covered that on the last podcast. But every once, and Jim told us that pretty much this will be a construction site until they're done.
Yeah.
Right. But I always had my little doubts about what's the next thing? When is that going to start? You know? So
Sure.
to get confirmation that a big piece of what that they need to be able to even build the bridge, I mean, they got to have this before they can even start building the bridge. The fact that it's starting is pretty big news to me.
Yeah, it's exciting. Now,
yes.
I just thought about this. If it's going to take a year to go build the trestles, you know, from both ends, it kind of makes sense then that the actual bridge construction is going to take a little bit longer if I'm comparing that to how long it takes for the trestles to be built.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You got some pictures of some of the you know, some of the load testing process. You want to bring those up?
Yeah, can you do that? Yeah, I've been collecting these and firing links off at Kipp at a obnoxious rate for like 2 weeks.
Just swatting the pictures out of the
Yeah,
way.
he's just swatting them aside. Just get out of here with this stuff.
All right,
and then we had to put it together tonight.
Yeah. All right, so this is yeah. This is actually a video that the Key Bridge rebuild folks put together. Why don't
Yeah, you go ahead and run that if you like.
The Key Bridge rebuild team has driven all 12 test piles into the Patapsco River at piers 24 and 25.
Can we
and
stop
you can see
that?
the giant load test frame is now in place on piles at pier 24. This means crews will soon begin static load testing. The load test frame will apply 10 million pounds of pressure on the main axial pile. This work is critical to ensuring a strong bridge foundation. To prepare, crews installed beams on the piles along with wire gauges and other monitoring devices.
Having a cut.
Information will inform our geotechnical engineers as to whether the pile's performing as anticipated and as we had assumed in the design. That'll verify it. It'll confirm that we've got.
That's the lifting, the first lifting.
Ahead with the design that we have and the number of piles that we've determined. It basically verifies what we have in our design assumptions, and we can move ahead with actually installing.
During this process, crews set the load test frame on 4 reaction piles and test 1 pile at a time. Follow every step of the Key Bridge rebuild project at keybridgerebuild.com.
You and I know we've been watching this on a live stream camera for weeks, and then they get the piles in and they look like they're done, and you have no idea that they're putting little catwalks around each piling, that they're putting a catwalk between each piling, that they're out there. You saw the guy like cutting like windows into steel that's 2 inches thick. So they're doing like custom fabrication over the water to set up this test system. And then the big indicator for me was she said testing a reaction pile, right? So the rest of those piles around were to put that frame on it just so you can put this birthday cake, as they called it, of these actuators, and so it can, you know, apply that force to the one pile while it's being supported by 4 or 6 others.
Right.
Again, had no idea it was going to look like that. And so Kipp's going to roll through a whole bunch of pictures here.
Yeah, if you look at the sheer size of it,
Right.
And so even from the beginning, so how long has the bridge been gone? What, a year and almost a half? It's coming on what?
Mm-hmm.
Two
Yeah.
years?
Yeah,
And,
coming up on 2 in March.
And to have something like this designed, built, and out to sight in order for it to be tested, that's impressive to me.
Right. And then, when you think about, I guess pieces of pipe that are made out of 2-inch thick steel that are 8 feet in diameter and 220 feet long aren't exactly laying around.
Right.
So you've got to take a sheet of 2-inch steel, bend it, roll form it, weld it, then take the next one, rotate it 180 degrees out, put them together, weld those together, and then do, I don't know what the number is, 10 or 15 of those.
I'm sure that all those welds have to be tested.
Yeah, and just to make one pile. Just to make one. So how long does it take to make one? And to get 12 of them in here. And so think about how long that takes. Think about how long it took for them to get here, probably like 2 weeks, because they're coming from Texas or Louisiana. And then you start backdating. Okay, so how far long ago did they come up with all these calculations so that they could? And then you got to find somebody to make them. Where do you find them? Are there companies that aren't absolutely doing anything and sitting on their hands and just waiting for a key bridge contract? Well, no. So what does that mean? They'll probably have to buy them out of the business that they're already doing, because when they do this, it's probably, there's a whole bunch of stuff that people really aren't thinking about. It's not like, you came up with a design for a little onesie and you went to a machine shop. Hey, can you guys squeeze this in? You're talking about significant, right? And then, we only need 500 of these pipes. That's all, Kipp, just 500. So, yeah, I'm just trying to accentuate, there's an awful lot of planning that goes on into this.
All right. And so how long did it take for us to get the 12 that just arrived?
I
mean, so that'll, if it took a month to get 12,
right.
So now you're looking at 144 a year, and how many do we need? 500.
Yeah.
Well, just the piling manufacturing alone is going to take several years to meet the demand for that.
Not to mention the steel, not to mention the cable.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes on in building a bridge. So,
and they're probably going to have to build like a concrete factory or some kind of concrete staging, because you're going to be filled. And once you get going, you're going to be constantly pouring and constantly filling trucks. I mean, so it's a huge deal. Yeah. So
this is a side view of the birthday cake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's guys working on it some more.
And you could see the test structure sitting on top.
Yeah, that's the test frame sitting across. I guess it's centered over what we'll call the birthday cake there.
Now there's your I-beam that's been manufactured together, because this is the first time that I've seen all three of them together. I've seen the individual pieces, along with statements of this is what's going to be used, but I haven't seen it put together like this.
Yeah, I think we may have seen pictures of this before, but remember when those beams came in, they were so big. They were on like these monstrous trailers that had like 16 wheels on them, or 26 wheels. What did we calculate?
Yeah.
I mean, so can you zoom in on those people? on those little ants on the other side?
I don't know that I can,
Oh, okay,
but I'll point to them
Yeah.
here.
For scale, yeah.
For scale, that's those are 4 workers standing right there.
Right. So this thing is monstrous.
Yeah.
There's another view of all the catwalks and all the supporting structure around the pilings.
So this, and just from context, we're looking west because the sun is setting, and so that's the Curtis Bay side of the world that we see right in front of us. So you can that gives you a perspective of where the bridge is going to also align to the south.
Right, exactly. That's a great point. Now look at the structure that the sun is coming through, and notice there's no structure behind it.
Oh, right? Yeah.
So those 4 spans, or those 3 spans, those 4 piers, I mean, they're just sitting there by themselves, like looking like in the middle of nowhere, and the rest of it is gone.
Yeah.
Is gone. Yeah. Oh, there's another angle of it.
That's another angle right there.
And you can see the piers in the background, kind of curving off in the distance. Can you kind of see they're gone? They're not even there anymore.
Those are already, wow.
So it's surreal. Okay, when you've been looking at this live stream camera and trying to look at ships as they get beyond the bridge, right? And there's always this big line of bridge, and there's always these piers that are in the way. And once the ships kind of go around that corner, and dude, it's just surreal to see like nothing there.
Nothing there. Wow.
It's really weird.
Interesting. So the Key Bridge rebuild folks, they put some information out about the pier protection, and to also kind of give that perspective of how big it is, and they're actually putting pier protection on multiple places, not just the
main,
not just the 2 sections that's closest to the Federal Channel.
Yeah, and each one of those is it's like a football field.
So just an impressive size. So then then you have to consider how much concrete that is, how much rebar and steel.
Right.
Still, it's a lot of process to have to work through.
Yep.
We've also got some demolition pictures. You were kind of talking about that with the with the previous pictures.
Yep. And then these might be almost a couple of weeks old now.
Sure.
Because all those piers are gone. The steel is gone.
The concrete's gone too?
Huh?
The concrete is gone too?
The concrete is gone.
Wow.
Yep. It's gone. They can probably hammer through one of these in like 2 days. That's what I remember from, watching, when they first brought the machine out, and just watch the stuff fall as they demo through it. And I mean, there might be some that are close to the abutment that are still there. I mean, we really can't see those.
Sure.
Because there's vegetation and you're 3.5 miles away from the camera or something.
Sure.
But yeah, most of those in the picture are totally gone.
Wow.
Yep. And then you can see where they took the top off of that one.
Yeah.
Right. You can kind of get a idea of the process. And then they would lift these sometimes 2 at a time.
Connected together.
They would leave the connection. You can see the X bracing in between them.
Oh
right?
yeah,
And they would leave that in there so they could lift two at a
Lift
time.
it 2 at a time. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And there's one of the machines in action. And Sessler is the company that won this demo contract, and they have their name on all their equipment.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
So a different company then.
Yes, I would imagine that Kiewit subbed it out to them. Or they want it straight up. I'm not sure.
One or the other, sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's kind of the updates on the Key Bridge at this point.
Mm-hmm.
To
be honest with you, we could probably dig up more stuff and talk about it for another half hour, but yeah.
Yeah.
There's just so much going on out there.
Yeah, there is. There's there was also some updates and some pictures of the bulk hopper.
Yeah, the bulk containers, the bulk handling system. It's $30 million that they're building at Trade Point out on the Finger Pier.
Yes.
So
these first two pictures this is part of the system, but this was back in October where they the conveyor system where they are installing the full system. But this was earlier back in October with some of the components there.
Yeah, when they're building some of these structures. And I think what's happening is, the conveyor comes up a hill and then the material is dumped into this funnel and then transfers onto like another conveyor that goes up, and goes like across the road and just kind of keeps going. And then, wow, look at the size look at that funnel sitting on that truck.
Yeah, so this is further out on that pier, if I understand it correctly.
I think so.
And so this is part of their construction process to put the funnel in place.
Mm-hmm.
But just like what you said, you can see the sheer size of just the funnel itself and the structure system that holds it up. And just look, if it's sitting on a flatbed.
That's monstrous. You haven't seen that thing going down the road?
Mm-mm. So, quite the significant heavy lift for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so what I think, like you've been to Pier 4, North Locust Point.
Yeah.
Or Ruckert. Aren't these frames on rails? So that they can adjust the funnel to the ship, because you wouldn't think you'd have to untie the ship and move the ship every time you want to unload a section of the ship, right? So I would think that they would move these on rails.
I believe that you could see that rail system right here.
Right, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Hold on.
And I wish we had, you can see it on the camera now. I should have some. Can you point to, you can see a white angled in the lower right of you right there. I think that's part of the conveyor.
Looks like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when you look at it from the camera, from the live stream camera, I mean, you can see it rising up.
Oh, okay.
As it gets to one of these structures, and then you can see it like going up to another structure. And I just find it's kind of funny and ironic how if the Key Bridge stuff wasn't going on, we would be paying all of our attention to watching them build the $30 million thing. Yeah. But because the Key Bridge demo stuff is going on, we barely spend any time talking about this.
Sure. Yeah.
It's just interesting how.
Yeah, that is interesting. All right, so we'll continue to follow what's happening at Trade Point Atlantic with their conveyor system installation.
Sounds good.
All right, so it was a lot of good updates and things. Also, it was a really busy week this week and end of last week for freight management here in the port.
Okay.
There were 3 different events that took place on the 4th, Wednesday the 4th. The World Trade Center Institute held their annual State of the Ports address. And so that was down at the Baltimore Museum of Industry this year.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, we were not able to get down there like we wanted to, unfortunately. But I understand that they had a good report out, and there was some information on connected to the bridge and the state of the port. So that took place.
We did enjoy it when we went last year.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's just because not only did they have like information and report outs, they also had some breakout sessions, but they also had like a food flair kind of expo, and so the World Trade Center Institute does some work with the embassies here locally, and they brought some of the country custom cuisine for some of the for some of the different countries for you to enjoy.
Oh, that's right.
Which has connectivity to importing and what have you. So they went and did that again this year. So
yeah, I forgot about that aspect, that the food was related to the countries that actually deal with the port.
Yeah,
that's cool. I totally forgot about that aspect of it.
Monday, this Monday of this week on the 8th, I was down at Department of Transportation headquarters in Hanover. The Maryland Department of Transportation held their State Freight Advisory Summit. Now, the last one they held was back, I think, 2021, and the one before that was 2009.
Now, what does that mean? Everybody gets free breakfast, or I mean, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah, I don't. Well, there was some coffee there, but what this freight? So yeah,
I'm sorry.
No. I mean, that's so the State Department of Transportation has a number of different subgroups or sub agencies that focus on certain aspects of the industry. I work pretty closely with the Connected and Automated Vehicle Group under MDOT.
Okay.
And so, so you've got these driverless taxis that just got announced that are, going to come out in Baltimore. Yeah.
Wow.
So this is, so the state has a group that looks at that kind of technology. Well, this particular group focuses on freight and how we move freight in and around and out of the state. And so, what are the entities that carry freight? Well, it's the airport, trucking, rail, and the maritime seagoing industry. So the state plans for these actions and any type of investments that need to be made or changes to help improve the overall economy related to freight. We talk about employment metrics and then challenges to the industry like automation and labor concerns and infrastructure that needs improving, like the bridge or
would there be any kind of state regulations? Are things like that talked about? Or
yes,
maybe somebody would like to have some ease just to make it easier on the businesses or something. Is anything like that discussed? Or
100%? I mean, that's so they take input from as many different entities, jurisdictions, interest groups, individuals, companies to help make this freight plan. So when you start talking about drivability, trucks on the road, they look at congestion, freight demand, where the trucks need to go from and to. They talk about the trucks that transient the state and don't even stop, but we are on the hook for having to cover the repair and maintenance of the road for those, all of those things. And so I would suggest take a look at the Consolidated Transportation Plan, or the CTP, which in that Consolidated Transportation Plan looks at every mode of transportation in the state and addresses all of the needs and the
Wow.
plan to operate out, a significant amount of time. I believe this one is going until 2045. I believe is what the plan
Oh,
is.
okay. So there's a plan looking forward, and it's always whatever 20 or
Yeah.
40 years or whatever
Yes.
the number is, and they're
So
always kind
this
of pushing it out and re-looking at it and reanalyzing and replanning. And
correct.
it's just funny because I thought somebody's like, well, this is supposed to be about ships. Why are you guys talking about trucking? Well,
It
how do you
is.
think stuff comes off the ship and gets to where it's going?
Right. Specific with that, when I would have to go and make report outs to a MARAD program that I participated in, we would have that conversation. You can't have the maritime industry without the connectivity unless you are Domino Sugar and you can drag the boat right up against your manufacturing facility. You have
But
to
they're
have
still trucking out processed sugar, right?
100%.
Yeah.
But you still have to have those connections. So the state, I will say, is very, very aware and keen on what's happening, and they appreciate the feedback that's needed. So I made a presentation on the workforce need for the state within the transportation industry and focusing on those different modes, including the maritime industry. So, so that took place on Monday. This morning, I was down at Camden Yards. The Greater Baltimore Committee announced their Vision 2035 plan, and so they are kind of a chamber that supports economic development within the Baltimore region, and they brought in all of the heavy hitters: manufacturers, financiers, logistics, the state agencies, the private sector, to come and
Kipp.
listen, and me, and the educational outfits, to learn about what's going on. And they have their plan that they're going to push through, and it is connected with the consolidated transportation plan and everything else that's going on. So there was a lot of freight management related activities that took place this week. December tends to be a kind of a busy time for some of that. So speaking of that, the Key Bridge rebuild has a virtual community update coming up. This will take place December the 16th on Tuesday at 6:30. You can, as the general public, you can dial in and get an update on the Key Bridge rebuild. Okay. You do have to register for the event, but it's a free event that everybody can go and join. So if you want to get firsthand knowledge of what's happening and the current status, and it looks like you have a little bit of a question and answer session, maybe you get to put your question in the chat box and somebody can read it off and answer it.
That'd be cool.
I think this is a great opportunity for the general public to go ask those questions. When are they going to start building the bridge? I hope everybody goes and listens to that.
Yeah, that will be cool. I got to be honest with you. I am really impressed with their output.
Yeah.
The photos and the details. Obviously, there could be more. But they don't have to put all this stuff out. They probably don't have to be as detailed and as informative as they are. So it really, I really do appreciate everything that they put out, because probably just about every time they do a post, I'm learning something.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. I agree with that. All right. Also in events coming up, the Traffic Club of Baltimore has their annual holiday dinner on December the 11th. Vinny's Cafe in Baltimore. Looks like that they're doing some, they're accepting some donations for charity with that.
Oh, that's nice.
That's coming up on the 11th. The Women's Traffic and Transportation Club of Baltimore, they're having their dinner party on December the 19th at Union Hill Kitchen and Craft Bar. And so if you want to go see what the Women's Traffic Club is doing, looks like they also have a Oh, they're doing Unwrapped Toy for Charity also.
Nice.
So it's that time of the year. And then the Propeller Club of Baltimore is having their annual membership holiday party on Wednesday, December the 17th, and they are doing a donation and charity cause also. So there's a number of
busy social calendar. You can hop from party to party to party.
That's right. That's right. You can hit them all. So also coming up in the end of March, MyTags, which is the Maritime Institute of Technology and Graduate Studies down in Linthicum, they are hosting a 2-day conference focusing on the maritime industry and how to become a mariner. And so they are going to be talking about career development from within the maritime industry, and some guest speakers, and how sorry for the pun, how to navigate through your new maritime career. I got the smirk on that one. So the fine folks at MyTags are trying to promote that, and so I think that's an excellent opportunity. I think I might try to go to that one. So that's the current events that we have. Also in the Port of Baltimore history segment, we have actually two different history nuggets that we came across. The first one right there at the end of November 29th. The Baltimore Harbor Tunnel opened. Sure, I'm grateful for it, since I drive through it every day.
And now, can you imagine what that was like? Because when did the Beltway open? 52.
I don't know my Beltway history.
Yeah, I'm not good with it either. But right, and so there weren't any water crossings.
You had to snake through the city,
right? Yes, that's it. Right, like now when you're downtown and you might see those route markers like Route 1, and you look at it on the map, and it comes in and goes and it makes a left and then it makes a right and squiggles through town, and and you're like, what the heck is that about? That's useless. Why would you run Route 1 through downtown? Well, because
that's the way it was
before the Harbor Tunnel was here. Yeah. That's what you had to do. Can you imagine interstate trucking going through downtown, and what a relief that must have been for transportation to have this open.
Yeah.
1957. Interesting.
Still going strong.
Think of Happy Days. Think of the show Happy Days.
I've seen Happy Days, but it was a little bit before my time.
Right.
I'm sorry.
That's fine. But I'm just saying, if you think of that show, that's kind of the era of when this opened. And so think about driving your Packard or whatever, and you're going through the Harbor Tunnel. Just a different time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's still going strong.
Mm-hmm.
Also, hold on.
Oh, Mike at BaltimoreShipwatchers.com. You don't know what you're talking about. The Packard wasn't, They didn't make those in 19. They made them in. All right.
Also, the Act of 1799, Chapter 16, was passed by Maryland on December the 7th. And this is back in 1799. It was the foundational law incorporating the company to build the Chesapeake and Delaware Canal. And so this act authorized private investors to dig a waterway connecting the Delaware and Chesapeake Bays, which is a significant early infrastructure project for trade and transport in the young United States.
1799.
1799. So this Maryland Act, alongside similar legislation from Delaware and Pennsylvania. So think 1799, and 3 states had to figure out how to communicate with each other without internet, phone, whatever,
Wow.
had to go and put legislation together to go connect it all together.
It's a wonder it happened.
But this established the legal framework for a crucial commercial canal, granting the company perpetual rights to the canal and its tolls once built.
Two points I would like to bring up.
Sure.
We had talked, it might have been around the same time, and we had talked about, and we had showed a map, like one of the proposals was like to build a canal like up the chop tank.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Right. And then remember, it wasn't a sea level canal when it first was put in. It had locks. Right. So very different from the canal that we know now, which
Sure.
is just a sea level and you just go right from one bay to the other. And what, going around the bay adds 150 miles or something.
Yeah. So
Pretty
that is,
interesting stuff.
it is very interesting. So that's my history nuggets. That's what I got for tonight.
Cool. Hey, so we have calendars for sale.
Nice.
Right? We finally got around to putting them together. And Mike will not be licking manila envelopes and running the post office 17 times because we are using a company that does all that for us. Like, I don't know who licks the envelope on their end, but I'm just glad it's not me anymore. But anyway, if you go to BaltimoreShipwatchers.com, go to the merch page. We've got a brand new section up at the top that shows you the pictures that are in the calendar. They're $28.95 shipped. You click on the link, you go to their website. It's a little bit different. You have to pick the beginning month. Why? I have no idea. Why it doesn't default to January. You pick the beginning. You pick the month that you want your calendar to start on. And then you can choose if you would like a tide calendar. So they put like the wave indicator of the tides throughout the whole calendar, which is kind of a cool feature. So, but $28.95, like $7 or $8 cheaper than they were last year.
Oh, so nice. Okay.
That's a really cool feature. So we've got...
And you don't have to lick the envelope.
Right. So we've got 4 pictures by David Seitz. A lot of people love his photography. 2 pictures of the Thomas Point Lighthouse, which normally does their own calendar, but they're not this year. And a host of other great photography in there. So check that out on the website. Plus, also on the merch page is everything that's been there and you might want to consider for gifts. So we've got glassware and all different kind of hats and sweatshirts and t-shirts and coffee cups and all kinds of cool stuff for you to check out that has the Shipwatchers logo on it. We're also all over socials. Twitter, Instagram.
Whichever ones that they are.
The brain is not working as we come to near the end of the podcast. We're on Reddit, Threads, obviously YouTube with the podcast. And we try to keep that stuff up to date as much as we can.
And if you want to listen to the audio version of this, you can catch it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Sounds good. Right. Appreciate you squeezing this into your Christmas schedule.
Well, it's all good. Yeah, it's all good. Well, it's all good.
All right, I got a question for you. Right?
Okay.
How much did Santa pay for his sleigh?
How much did Santa pay for his sleigh?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to regret this one. I don't know.
You will. Nothing. It was on the house.
It was on the house. I knew it was something along that, and I just couldn't. All right.
You can thank Alicia for that one.
Oh, okay. There you go. Thanks, Alicia. Appreciate that. All right, let's count this one off so we can go hit the sack.
Yeah, man, let's do it.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Happy ship watching. All right, if we don't get back to you all before the holiday, have a great holiday and Merry Christmas, and maybe we'll see you next year.